Hey friends, welcome back to day 2 of Math Stories with Miss Biciero. First, I want to give a shout out to Xavier. Thank you, Xavier, because he was the first one to submit for the first math story. So great job, Xavier. Like always, I'm going to ask you questions and I want you guys to answer them. In order to do so, I'm going to show you the sign that looks like this that says pause the video. When I ask you a question, please pause the video so you have time to answer it. And we are going to do a math story together in this video, and then you're going to post your work, and then you're going to do one on your own. So by the end, please make sure you're posting 2 of your work, one of the video together and one on your own. If you have any questions or you have any trouble uploading or any questions at all, please call or text me at 516-965-6476. And now we're going to get started. Great, so I see a math story, so I have to visualize. The first time we read it, we ask ourselves what's happening in the story. There are some ants on the ground. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. Now there are 275 ants left. How many ants were there to start? Now let's read it a second time. The second time we read it, we ask ourselves, what do we know and what do we need to figure out? There are some ants on the ground. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. Now there are 275 ants left. How many ants were there to start? Now let's read it a third time. This time we're thinking, what's important? There are some ants on the ground. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. Now there are 275 ants left. How many ants were there to start? When I say go, pause the video and jot down important information. Go. So we're going to come back and Miss Biciero is going to show us how we can jot. Your jots don't have to look like mine, but make sure you're jotting important information. So it says there are some ants on the ground. We know that this represents how many ants there were to start. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. That's important because that's how many the student stomped on. And now there are 275 left, and that represents how many left. And our big question is how many ants were there to start? So BQ is to start. So now I can check off jots. Now it's time to represent. When I say go, pause the video and represent what's happening in the story. Make sure you have labels. Go. So now we're back and let's represent together. We know that when our big question is how many to start, we can draw a picture to help us. So we know there are some ants on the ground. I'm going to just draw circles to represent the ants. I'm going to do this quick and efficiently just to help my brain understand what's happening in the story. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. Since they stomped on it, we have less. So I'm going to cross off some, and that represents the ones that were stomped on. Now there are 275 ants left. So what's left are the ones that weren't stomped on. So I'm going to label this left. Our big question is how many ants were there to start? The ones that we drew in the beginning, all of these represent how many ants there are to start. So now I can use my picture to help me represent using a situation equation. Miss Biciero is going to read the story and try to represent that with an equation. There are some ants on the ground. I don't know how many ants there are, so I'm going to put a question mark, and I'm going to label it to start. Then the student stomped on 352 ants. Since they stomped on it, we have less ants, so I'm going to put minus 352 that are stomped on. And now there are 275 ants left, so I can put equals 275, which are left. Now that we represented, it's time to write our solution equation, solve. When I say go, pause the video and go ahead and write your solution equation and solve. Please use flat sticks and dots for this. Go. We're going to bring it back and we're going to write our solution equation and solve. First, I'm going to think, what am I missing, the whole or the part? I know when we're subtracting, we start with the whole, take away a part to get the other part. So I'm missing the whole. Since I'm missing the whole, I have to add the two parts together. So my solution equation is going to be 352 plus 275 equals blank. I'm going to show my hundreds, tens, and ones chart like always. When I'm adding, I show the first part up top. So I'm going to show 3 hundreds for 352, 5 tens, and then 2 ones. And then I'm going to show the second number on the bottom. I'm going to show 2 hundreds, 7 tens, and 5 ones. I'm going to start in my ones place and count how many ones I have in all. 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to count my tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoa, I have 12 tens. If I have 10 or more tens, I can regroup. I can regroup by circling 10 tens and turning it into 100. Now I have 2 tens, which makes 20. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundreds, which makes 627. So now we wrote our solution equation and solve, check, and now it's time to finish the story. When I say go, pause the video and go ahead and finish the story. Go. We're going to bring it back and we're going to finish the story. Our big question is how many ants were there to start? So I'm going to answer that question by answering there were 627 ants to start. And now I completed all of the steps and now we're done.